start this session with a wonderful yoga. We'll explain the nuances and importance of Mudra Yoga. For this, we have with us Ms. Mahati Vispute, a yoga trainer and therapist. She has been a yoga enthusiast for the past 10 years, now starting with silence, that is only meditating, for 3 days to training in asanas for about 6 hours a day. She became a full-time trainer at Yoga Darshanam in Mysuru in Karnataka. She's also a volunteer at Sri Sri Ravi Shankar's Art of Living organization in Bengaluru and takes yoga therapy at Arogya Physiotherapy Medex Hospital, Bengaluru.
Today we're going to learn about Mudra Yoga. Yeah, it's a limb of yoga which is slightly less explored because asanas, many people know, Surya Namaskar meditation is very widespread across the world right now. But Mudra Yoga is slightly less known. So we're going to talk about that today. So Mudra Yoga is where yoga can help you throughout the day. Yeah, understanding our lifestyle, wherein we don't have time for our own work. We can't be doing yoga the entire day. But Mudra Yoga is very simple. Yeah, so let's first try to understand what it is. Yeah, Mudra meaning a gesture. Or if you have even watched classical dances, mudras are done even there. Okay, it's a form of expression. Yeah, so in yoga, what Mudra Yoga does is that you either have hand gestures, which you can do while you are sitting, while you are just taking a walk, or while you are even listening to some light music, or even before meditation, before you can fall into the state of meditation, you could be doing Mudra Yoga and breathing exercises together. Today, what we're going to understand is a couple of mudras which you can do any time of the day, any time when you don't have to be specifically concentrating. You just have to take out 5 minutes from your day. Most importantly, let's first understand कि ये मुद्रा कैसे काम करती है. कि you are sitting, let's say in chin mudra. Okay, काफी लोग meditation के वक्त chin mudra में बैठते हैं. ये इसी मुद्रा में you sit down on in either Vajrasan, Padmasan, and then you do the meditation. लेकिन इससे होता क्या है? Yeah, it's actually very simple logic. Okay, energy in our body is like electric waves, or it's like if you are doing chin mudra, you're creating an electric loop. It's a loop of energy. तो अगर आपकी जो fingertips हैं, यहाँ पे सारी nerve endings हैं, समझ रहे आप? उसके बाद अगर आप इस मुद्रा में है, you are creating an energy loop which reuses, or even at times in mudras, it re-energizes the energy within your body. First one, chin mudra, early in the morning. Second one, samana mudra, after you have had 1 meal, 2 meals. Okay. Third one, prithvi mudra, refresh button. Fourth one, prana mudra.
We move on to another important session 2 on key findings of a survey on vaccination perception done by Heal Foundation and Science Global Insights and Consulting.
I'd like to have a concluding note in terms of the objective, the methodology, and the overall key findings.
So objective was very clear that we wanted to kind of test the waters and understand where we are in the COVID journey, and what is the role of vaccines and where is the hope. So, the concerns and also the hopes of people around, going forward, what next. So we did an online survey, which was, as I said, that done across geographies, and around 1106 participants participated. So all the findings are kind of 95% with confidence we can talk about these findings. And the key findings were, number one, people have faith in vaccines, in getting themselves cured and getting others cured. They also believe in trusted information, the scientific journals, and more importantly, scientific bodies and government, central government information. Media and social media, how much claims they may have, unless they come with facts and information, they are not going to win it. So people believe less, or they consider them as low trust sources of information. and there is need for enhancing or establishing this positivity, and we need to continue our efforts at the grassroots level, bringing more people and females into it to get the vaccine education done.
We now move on to session 3, another important session on vaccination challenges and road ahead.
वैक्सीनेशन कोविड को प्रिवेंट नहीं करता है, कोविड इन्फेक्शन को सीवियरिटी भले कम करे, प्रिवेंट नहीं करता है। तो क्या ये माना जाए कि वैक्सीनेशन को, जो वैक्सीनेशन प्रोग्राम है उसको ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा दुनिया भर में हाइप किया गया है?
उसमें हमको एक चीज़ समझनी चाहिए कि कोई भी वैक्सीन 100% प्रोटेक्शन देती है, ये बड़ा रेयरली होता है। जितनी वैक्सीन होती है वो आपको अच्छी प्रोटेक्शन देती हैं, लेकिन उसकी बार बार जरूरत पड़ती है। अब देखिए, इन्फ्लुएंजा जो कि कोविड से रिलेटेड है, उसकी वैक्सीन सदियों, कई दशकों से चल रही है, 50 साल से तो चल रही है, और उसको भी बार बार देनी पड़ती है। पोलियो की वैक्सीन है, वो भी देनी पड़ती है। लेकिन किशोर जी, ये भी ध्यान रखिए कि स्मॉल पॉक्स को इरेडिकेट करने के बाद, जो कि एक वायरस की इन्फेक्शन थी और वो वैक्सीन ने इरेडिकेट करा था, अब पोलियो की बारी आ रही है। अब नजर आ रहा है कि वो इरेडिकेट होगा। लेकिन अगर हम ये कहें कि पोलियो की वैक्सीन आपको बार बार हर बार देनी है, तो वो उचित नहीं होगा। कोविड की वैक्सीन और इन्फ्लुएंजा की वैक्सीन, इसमें थोड़ा कनंड्रम है। जो हमारे वायरस होते हैं वो 2 तरह के होते हैं, एक डीएनए वायरस होता है, एक आरएनए वायरस होता है। जो डीएनए वो डबल स्ट्रैंडेड होता है। अगर एक स्ट्रैंड में कोई मिसचीफ हो जाए, म्यूटेशन आ जाए, तो दूसरा स्ट्रैंड उसको कवर कर लेता है। कोविड का वायरस सिंगल स्ट्रैंड का आरएनए वायरस है, और इसमें अगर कोई म्यूटेशन आ जाए तो एक तरह से वो बहरूपिया बन जाता है, अपना रूप बदल के बॉडी के अंदर आता है, और उस केस में सारी प्रोटेक्शन नहीं मिल सकती है। और ये जो है म्यूटेशन जिसको हम कहते हैं, ये कोविड में बड़ा कॉमन है। समझ लीजिए हर 15 दिन में एक हो जाता है। इन्फ्लुएंजा में उससे भी ज्यादा है, एचआईवी में उससे भी ज्यादा है। तीनों आरएनए वायरस है। आरएनए वायरस की खासियत है कि वो बहरूपिया होता है और रूप बदलता है। ऐसी हालत में जो वैक्सीन है, वैक्सीन बड़ी प्रिसाइज होती है। अगर ये पेन है और इसको मारना है तो इसी को जाके टारगेट करेगी, लेकिन अगर इसमें इसका कैप थोड़ा सा भी बदल जाएगा तो उसको नहीं टारगेट कर पाएगी। तो वैक्सीन की थोड़ी दिक्कतें होती है। जो वैक्सीन आपने ली और फिर भी इन्फेक्शन हो गया, ब्रेक थ्रू इन्फेक्शन जिसको कहते हैं, उसके 2 कारण होते हैं। एक होता है कि इंसान में तो कोई कमी नहीं आ गई है जिसकी वजह से दूसरी इन्फेक्शन आ रही है, और दूसरा ये होता है कि वायरस में तो कोई ज्यादा पावर नहीं आ गई है कि वो आपको तंग कर रहा है। तो साइंस में ये देखने को मिला है कि दोनों में ही सच है। जो इंसान है उसकी वैक्सीन थोड़ी सी कमजोर होती है, लेकिन उससे ज्यादा जो वायरस है वो म्यूटेशन से एक ऐसी पावर लेके आता है कि वो उस वैक्सीन की जो प्रोटेक्शन है उसको इवेड कर पाता है।
Some experts have said that we should aim to have a pan-coronavirus vaccine that can tackle all variants and all future variants. How difficult is that? Because even a pan-flu virus has not materialized, though the work commenced in 2019. So what's your view on this?
You rightly said, since it hasn't happened in influenza, it's something similar which is happening here also. So we will possibly have lots of difficulties. And so far as current variants are concerned, maybe it may be easy, but future variants, how one can really predict and what kind of a vaccine is going to be developed, it's very difficult to predict. But so far as vaccination is concerned, I think one thing we need to take into consideration, what we need is a developed public health system. This virus will continue, the mutations will happen. The only thing is, like SARS did not spread was because the spread was avoided. You know, Chinese did not travel so much. In this case, it was that 5 million people who got out of Wuhan and spread it all over the world. So that spread means countries have to cooperate, not like in a war treaty, peace treaty or something. In a treaty, like WHO has done, something like CBR and they've created, where we have intelligence sharing and we have a constant surveillance on the diseases. Not just COVID, but lots others can also emerge like this. So the constant surveillance, if it is continued, you know, there may be a certain variant. It is possibly going to be endemic. That is how the evolution has happened, specifically in the case of 1918 flu virus also. But if a sudden variant were to come, which is very lethal, People have to be prepared for it. Nations have to be prepared, just like we do for a war. This is a new war.
A few experts have said that a decision on vaccinating healthy children should be deferred until complete data of trials are available. Also, data from additional vaccine adverse effects of high-risk children, which will accrue over a period of time, should be factored in.
Many patients who are coming to me are always asking about what is the side effect of the vaccine. So all vaccines, for that matter, will have some or the other minor side effects. They are actually not the side effects; they are the effects in which way the vaccine is working. So that is the major concern most of the parents have. But this is how T cell response would be. The patient is going to have fever, some mild swelling at the pain vaccination site, some fever and redness around the area, which may settle in 2 to 3 days. But these are minor symptoms and they should be taken as, okay, my body is developing immunity. So because of these minor symptoms, any kind of vaccination should not be deferred. Second thing is, the vaccination is being provided for healthy adults and healthy children only. Those who are sick would not be anyways given the medicines, the vaccines. So in that scenario, there are two schools of thought. One school of thought says that anyways, they're having less of infection. Why to, curb their natural immunity? But this is my personal opinion. And as a pediatrician, and most of the pediatricians would agree with me that we only worry about the severity of the illness. So in cases when we are providing vaccine now, we are expecting this, let's say a mutation comes again, and this time it's not that mild. At least these kids would be prevented from that, from getting the severity of infection. And everyone would agree here with me that after the second wave, we have learned this thing, that how important it is to not going to that severe state. It's okay if we have the common, if the COVID passes like common cold and flu and mild fever, but we just worry about, we should not get admitted into the hospital or land up with any kind of pneumonia, so as to say. So the vaccine is preventing here the severity of infection. So in my personal opinion, and most of the pediatricians would agree, any vaccine for that matter, yes, it prevents infection also, but as Nareshwar has mentioned, that it's never 100%. At least it reduces the severity of infection. So yes, we should go for vaccinations, but still there are a lot of studies which are coming up now. And I'm sure by 2022, we'll have a clear data on should we vaccinate children below 12 years or not, because in that scenario also, I prefer that we should wait a little while because they have their natural immunity with other vaccines.
Coronaviruses do multiply very fast, and it keeps mutating quite often. Now it looks like after the Omicron, the coronavirus has taken a winter break. Now, do you think that this is the end of it, or are we going to expect more variants to come in on the way, because people have started relaxing, no mask, enjoy parties, go on a vacation? So what's your take on that?
This coronavirus, if it is sitting on my table, if it is sitting on my pen, it's sitting anywhere, it can do nothing. It is totally impotent. It has to get into the human body to become mischievous. That's one. The second thing is the viruses. There are millions of viruses. Maybe 1 kg of our body is made up of bacteria and viruses. Majority of them are good viruses, good bacteria. There are only a couple of hundred that we know are causing disease to human beings. When you come to coronavirus has been with us for 6 decades. It has been with us for a couple of centuries, but 6 decades it's causing illness in human beings. And this illness that it causes is like the common cold. In fact, how the science worked was, when you were looking at common cold, but we know common cold, but in science we want to know whether it's rhinovirus, myxovirus, respiratory syncytial virus. We could not figure out 10 to 15% cases of common cold as to which virus could be attributed to them. And they found out it was coronavirus. There are 4 variants of coronavirus that have been causing common cold every season. They come, hit and run is the kind of virus that they were, and they were all there. After that, they leave you. 2 or 3 of them have created havoc. One was in 2002-3 when what we knew as SARS, or we call it SARS-1, where the mortality was even higher than what we are seeing in SARS-2. Then there was this MERS, Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome. MERS was another corona variant which came in 2012-13 and would cause high mortality. Thankfully, it was not a pandemic. It was restricted to Middle East. These two big changes in 2002, 3 and 12 led scientists to do a lot of discovery and research. And they found out that if there is some mutation that happens in this coronavirus, it could become deadly. Also, it is not in the interest of the virus to keep mutating. This virus, coronavirus, is not basically a human virus. We must understand that. It's basically a virus of the bats. There are thousands of varieties there. But because of the climate disturbances and human behavior, this bat virus gets into human beings, probably through a third animal in between, intermediate animal. And once it gets in, then it keeps going like that. But if we break this chain, it would come back to the old mild virus causing 10% of the infections. So it's anybody's guess, but my personal feeling is, having gone through it, this probably would settle down and take the so-called endemic form, or the kind of form which we have seen for 60 years.